Most bad decisions don't feel bad. They feel efficient. They feel logical. They feel like something your future self will thank you for. This one is no different. You walk into a clean building with neutral colors and calm voices. Nothing about the place feels dangerous. Nothing feels permanent. You are treated like a resource. Politely, professionally, efficace and entièrement. They explain the process quickly. They explain the money clearly. They explain the rules with confidence, anonymous. No responsibility, no future involvement. They repeat those words because repetition creates belief. At no point do they ask you who you will be in 20 years. At no point do they explain how the world might change. At no point do they describe what happens when technology outpaces promises. Because the system does not run on foresight, it runs on throughput. You sign, you leave, and life continues. Years pass, you forget about it. Because nothing reminds you. That is how delayed consequences work. They stay invisible until they don't. The first crack appears quietly, a genetic testing kit, a curiosity, a database, a match you never expected, a connection you never agreed to, a question you never prepared for. The illusion of anonymity collapses instantly, not with drama, with data. From that moment forward, your DNA is no longer private. It is searchable, traceable, connectable, and identity becomes a shared space instead of a boundary. The legal system enters slowly, not as a villain, as the machine courts do not care about clinic promises. They care about outcomes. They care about responsibility. They care about who can pay. Contracts matter until they conflict with public interest, and children are always public interest. Intent becomes irrelevant. Timing becomes irrelevant. Your age at the time becomes irrelevant. Biology remains. This is where the financial reality appears, not as punishment, as arithmetic income, evaluated. Assets assessed, future earning potential estimated. Responsibility assigned, not because you chose it, but because the system needs somewhere to place it. This is when panic sets in. Not loud panic, quiet panic, the kind that changes how you live, how visible you become, how ambitious you allow yourself to be. Success stops feeling safe. Promotion feels dangerous. Stability feels exposed. Some men stop taking risks. Some stop building. Some stop planning long term. Because uncertainty is now attached to progress. The psychological damage does not come from money alone. It comes from fragmentation. Knowing parts of you exist in lives you do not control. Knowing decisions you never made are unfolding with your biology attached. Some donors discover dozens of genetic children. Some discover siblings living nearby. Some discover medical consequences they were never warned about. And there is no framework for processing that. No ceremony, no closure. The system was never designed to support donors after the transaction. Once the material is sold, the relationship ends. Except it doesn't. It continues biologically, socially, legally. And it expands over time, donor conceived. Adults begin asking harder questions about identity, about consent, about harm. Lawsuits emerge, not driven by revenge, but by recognition. Courts begin to listen, policies begin to shift, and donors find themselves part of a conversation they never consented to join. Not because they did something malicious, but because the system simplified something that should never have been simplified. Human life does not behave like inventory. It does not respect contracts. It does not stop expanding when paperwork says it should. The real cost of sperm donation was never the money paid up front. It was the uncertainty deferred, a liability stretched across decades, waiting for technology and law to catch up. This is not a moral judgment. It is a structural failure. A system built for efficiency, ignoring long-term consequence, short-term profit, ignoring long-term exposure. The same pattern behind every financial collapse, every environmental disaster, every institutional lie. Someone gets paid now, someone else pays later. The difference here is that the payment never ends, because biology does not expire, identity does not dissolve, and responsibility has a way of finding whoever is still standing. The tragedy is not that men donated, it is that they were told nothing could come back. That was never true, and the world we live in now is proving it, quietly, relentlessly, one discovery at a time.